Sensual Essences is a brand new podcast technology that you can use every day.
I listened to Sensual Essences and I didn't get a single dollar in the mail.
Oh my God, Sensual Essences did not cure my fibromyalgia.
That's right. All you have to do is listen to Sensual Essences every day and you'll get the results you're after too.
I didn't lose a single pound listening to Sensual Essences.
Sensual Essences, now streaming on any podcasting service. Okay.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, man.
Nice to hear from you.
It's really good to hear from you too.
Are we recording, Dan?
We're recording.
Wow.
I'm not really sure.
Dan, do you know what number episode this is?
74.
Wow. What a wild ride, huh?
It's been a wild ride, man. It's really been a wild ride.
When we started, did you think we were going to get to episode number 74?
Mike, I wasn't even sure we were going to get through episode 1.
How about that, right?
And here we are.
Here we are, just cranking out episode after episode, hit after hit after hit.
I'd say we've hit the highway and we're cruising. What do you think?
Dan, I feel like we're just riding that wave, you know?
Yep. So,
you know, that big wave just comes and catches you on that podcast platform surfboard.
Yeah.
Man, you're riding.
I mean, maybe today what we should just do is talk about our experiences.
I think we need to.
I kind of wanted to bring up, like, I wasn't ready for the level of fame and attention. Yeah. Like, I kind of pictured in my head when we started doing this that, it would probably take off and people would probably recognize us and
more than they had been. Yeah, I was.
Hold on. I figured it would be like pretty fun.
I wasn't prepared either, Dan. I wasn't prepared either. But go ahead.
Yeah, I figured. Well, people talk about that experience and like nobody's ready for it, and like it's kind of fun, and then it gets kind of annoying, and then it's like you can't even go anywhere without people.
Then it kind of gets dark.
It kind of gets dark, and then it's almost like you wish it never happened to you. And I'm getting to that stage. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how many people in our audience remember Sam Kinison.
Yeah, the comic
from the 80s who
died from airport pizza, right?
Was that
a different guy?
I don't remember exactly what.
He would scream all the time, right?
Yeah, he was like, ah!
Yeah.
I can't really even do what he did, but he was on a whole other level.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting there, but go on.
Reportedly, he, as he became more and more well known, I've only heard this from hearing stories of other comedians that were friends and friends of his that sort of saw his rise to fame and then fall out of our plane of existence. Mm-hmm. And I think we're experiencing a little bit of that, Dan, which is the entourage thing.
Yeah.
It's like you can't go anywhere without the entourage because there's always all the hangers on.
Yeah.
Everybody's acting like they're your friend.
But they just want something from you.
They just really want something, They're being all friendly, all super sweet and nice. They, giving you all that attention, laughing at everything you say, making you feel like you're king of the world. But you know what?
It's a fair weather friends phenomenon.
Fair weather friends, Dan.
Mm-hmm. The way that I deal with that, Mike.
It's a lot of that now.
Yeah. The way that I deal with that is I figured this out pretty early on. Like, when I had one assistant, right? Mm-hmm. And I always made sure that he was, he had my cup of coffee ready. Mm-hmm. And now I've got, then it went to 2 assistants, then 5 assistants, and now every one of my assistants have their own assistants. So I keep that coffee. I make sure every single one of them has my coffee, but they all have coffee. And so it's almost like I'm showing them that no matter what no matter what type of they're going to be sycophants, right? But they always are there holding my coffee. And so at any given moment, I might have 20 to 30 people, and each
Just
one of them is
on
holding a cup of coffee.
Yeah, just on the coffee detail. Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting for me over here at the East Coast offices. You know, when we started, I was, doing it, doing the episode at a coffee shop. I didn't even have an apartment. I was just basically, I mean, it's a little embarrassing to say, I was basically living out of a friend's car.
Yeah.
And kind of like, down on my luck. And, we started doing the Sensual Essence podcast. And, next thing I know, I've got the means to get my own car.
Sure. Cars.
And then, why, when you're making this much money, obviously you don't need to live in a car. You can buy an apartment, and then, got the apartment, and, we did a lot of episodes in the apartment. And then it was like, the assistants there, and then a couple of assistants, and then it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to have all these people over in my apartment all the time.
Sure.
It's a lot of people. And then the sort of the entourage thing starts, and, we got to get an office.
Now it's more of a compound, really.
Well, I mean, it's really, it's 724 East 54th Street. Now that we have that building, for the Sensual Essence, the Sensual Essence building,
right. I mean, here, just so everybody knows,
we're broadcasting live from Studio 3 on the 40th floor. It's not beautiful up here. Such a great, you really get a great view of the skyline,
Central
Park, and Manhattan, and you see it's like really a 360-degree view.
That's amazing.
Out of the Studio 3.
Yeah, it's really amazing how far we've come. I mean, sort of in the same spirit of what you were saying. I mean, I'm out here in Los Angeles. It's been crazy. Kind of like you were staying in a friend's car. I adopted a slightly different philosophy, and it's one people may recognize. It's keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. So I was actually sleeping in an enemy's car.
Interesting.
Which made for some really interesting nights. I couldn't afford a gun, so I had my pocket knife with me unsheathed the whole time. And then that guy ended up working for me on Sensual Essences, which is pretty funny.
How about that, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
And then, next thing I know, it's the apartment, then the house, and then we've got the whole 1000 block on Century Boulevard.
Yeah, wow.
And I mean, it's a lot of responsibility, but if we always remember our roots, where we came from,
we do.
It really keeps us humble. And
even though there is the the real estate investments and the property and all the hangers on and
fleet of private jets and the yachts and the super yachts.
The trappings, I suppose, of what success is, but. When it comes down to the heart of Sensual Essences, really, the heart of Sensual Essences are the characters.
It is about the characters.
We always come back to the characters, and even though the money and the success and the fame,
the sex,
and the girls,
the drugs,
and the all that stuff.
It's the characters. It's the characters.
We always, the heart of Sensual Essences is the characters. And I think the reason why we've been so successful is because we know that. And we know that it's not really about the success. It's about the characters.
The success is a symptom of the characters, I'd say.
Right. And because we stay true to the characters.
And they stayed true to us. I mean, in a weird way, they stay true to us. It's sort of like they are the ones informing us what direction to take the show.
Yeah, I mean, when we do the show, it's not even really my voice, and the funny thing is, when those characters kind of take over the wheel,
they're speaking through us.
they're speaking through us.
We're just the vessel, the conduit for that. It's almost like we're the avatar, and the character comes to life through us, and it's almost a divine communion. I don't mean to like get too much into the guru stuff. I mean, they're great. I love doing the gurus.
Sure.
But specifically doing those characters has really tapped me into me specifically. I don't know. I can't speak for you, but for me, doing the gurus has really tapped into like my spiritual side.
Sure.
And
I mean, I think the whole, even the characters that aren't necessarily overtly spiritual, there's a deep sense of spirituality, even, let's say with like George and Marty.
Yeah. I mean, that was our first show, George and Marty.
Really? That was the first show?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that? And yeah, I mean, the way that
I thought the first show was the Questing Bros.
I think it was George and Marty. Or maybe we did both. I think we were doing both.
I think we did both because when we started on, it took a little while for us once we had our own East and West Coast studios that we were working in, then really I think we were a little more comfortable and we started doing full shows just on with one set of characters.
Yeah. We got our sea legs and we felt comfortable enough to do 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Two guys talking about nothing.
In one scene, one setting.
I just want to remind everybody that none of our shows are scripted, and I'm going to say 90 to 95% of the time, we don't even know what we're going to do when we hit record. How about that?
We don't even know. We don't discuss it.
How about that?
I mean, we do. I guess we discuss things off air.
Usually after, like post game.
Well, I mean, I don't. Some of our listeners may not even realize this, but we are actually in real life brothers. And we do talk to each other off air about other things because we're brothers.
Yeah.
And we do sometimes talk about the show, but we don't really. I think we just, have a couple laughs about what we said.
I also, on that note, sorry to interrupt, Mike. Just so everybody knows, sometimes, actually a lot of the times when we talk outside the show, we're actually talking to each other in character.
That's true. I mean, the characters, again, they've just another example of how the characters really have kind of taken on their own life.
Yeah, within us, through us.
Yes, through us. It's really as though there's, they've. It's hard to explain. Maybe unless you are suffering from a psychotic condition. Yeah. Or what do they call that? It's like a multiple personality,
schizophrenia.
But it's
multiple personality disorder.
It's not. I don't think it's a disorder. I think it's that.
It's a feature. It's not a bug.
It's a feature. It's not. I mean, we're not afflicted with these extra people inside of us. I think they're actually in there all the time, and then the character voices really just are a way to access them. And for people that don't have never tried on using a character voice, I can't say enough good things about it. I think it's really worthwhile.
Yeah. And just to reassure people that we are indeed doing this in a healthy manner. So I have brought it up a couple times in character that I do have children, and occasionally, well, more than occasionally, I will slip into one of our Sensual Essences characters when I'm with my children.
Sure.
And they love it until they tell me to stop, and then I sometimes stop and I sometimes don't. So I'm pretty sure that this is not intrusive. It's not degrading my life in any way. And
it's enhancing.
It really is an enhanced life. It's what's going on over there?
Just regular old New York City stuff out there, Dan.
Yeah. All right, so we've done 74 shows. We've skyrocketed to success. We're at the top of all the podcast charts.
All of the charts, just, it's like we're number one and number two is way, way, way down there. It's like
distant second.
It's a distant second.
I mean, even when we had Joe Rogan on the show a few months ago, he couldn't even.
Was that episode 40 or 30 or?
I don't even remember.
50?
I mean, Just to give you a sense of perspective, Joe Rogan didn't even know really how to handle this being on our show.
Yeah, he was
sort of
a little bit nervous. He was a little nervous.
He sort of cracked, and
I was surprised at how kind of starstruck he was.
Yeah.
And just was a little bit flabbergasted. You know, he talks to people almost every day, it seems like, and interviews a lot of people. And when he was on with us, he really seemed like he was just kind of like starstruck.
Yeah,
couldn't really say much, really.
I think we've handled the privilege pretty well, the privilege of fame.
We kept saying, Joe, it's okay, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're with us, man. We're taking care of you, Joe. Like, you don't have to be so nervous.
Yeah, you know, okay. He told me after
we're just regular guys.
I know. You know, he told me after the show that he actually took half a Valium before coming on because he was so nervous.
To be relaxed. Yeah, just to try to be a little more relaxed.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And then I told him, you know, if he has a problem, that he could talk to me about it. And so,
I talked to him afterwards a little bit, and I said, Joe, like, we don't really do a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
Like, you're the guy that does the interviews. I mean, like, you don't have to be nervous. Like, we're not going to grill you.
Yeah, man. We're just here to hang.
We just wanted to hang and have a fun conversation. Yeah. And man, he got so nervous.
I hate to change topics here. I mean, it's sort of on the same topic, but I think there's one of our fans knows about this, the Lost interview. That may have been like a high watermark in
I think so,
Sensual
yeah.
Essences.
Episode.
Yeah, we were. I got on Twitter, X, formerly Twitter, a desperate fan, actually reached out to us, and she wanted to come on our show and do an interview with us.
Dan, are we allowed to even talk about this?
Let's not use her name. Let's just call her Amy.
Are we allowed to even talk about that last episode? I feel like there was like a legal issue.
I mean, who are we kidding? Mike, who are we kidding? We make the rules here.
That's true.
So we interviewed her. It was a spectacular interview. She was so empathetic and not narcissistic at all. And she definitely didn't want to come on.
We all laughed. We all cried.
We laughed and cried. She definitely didn't want to come on just to promote her stupid, Twitter feed where she just talks about what she eats and her lifestyle and her insane dating life. It was definitely not that. And we definitely weren't making fun of her the whole time. We actually interviewed her as George and Marty. And then we published the show, and she, the very next day, asked us to take it down.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes.
But, you know, she knew what she was getting herself into. She knew the titans of podcasting that she was going up against.
Yeah, it's, sometimes it gets, when you get in the ring there, you just got to be ready for anything.
Anything.
Really, when you're at this level, it's you have to have a good offense and a good defense, and you got to be able to get out there and play the game.
Incredible.
If you want to be on a podcast of the caliber that Sensual Essence podcasts.
I know. And Mike, I don't know if we're going to be doing any more interviews, Dan, because I don't know. I guess if Joe wants to come back on, we'd have him back on. Yeah, maybe for show 100 or something.
Yeah, maybe for show 100 we'll have Joe come back on and just like why don't we try to make him squirm a little more this time?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, I really like Joe. He's such a good guy, and he's done so much for the industry.
Sure. I mean, even though our show's bigger than his show, it's kind of cool because I know there's definitely listeners that listen to his show that wouldn't necessarily listen to our show, and it's sort of like you're getting that crossover, new audience, kind of stuff.
Another really incredible thing that I wanted to bring up is, I mean, I know we've gotten to this extremely high celebrity status, but the fascinating thing to me is how some of our characters themselves are basically becoming celebrities. I mean, Juan has gotten so much fan mail, so many marriage proposals.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, George and Marty have a fan base.
For sure.
The band guys, Miles, the Miles guys, the Questing Bros have their own forum.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible the number of lives that have been touched here. And
Lives have been touched. Lives have been changed.
yeah, transformed.
I mean, it's just
transmogrified,
I'm just glad that we have all of these people working for us now, because it would be impossible to try to answer all of the emails and letters and all the correspondence from fans. There's not going to be really time for us to be able to get to that stuff at this point, because we're working on really important stuff.
Mike, I've been
important stuff.
I've been meaning to tell you this. You know how Sofia Vergara is getting divorced?
Okay.
She actually is divorcing her husband because she wanted to get in touch with Juan.
Really? My God. Well, there's a little piece of celebrity gossip for you.
How about that?
There's a little juicy nugget.
Poor guy, when he first showed up on the show, he was in a bad spot. And
he lived at home.
His mom was abusive, and he had no self-confidence.
No, really, and almost no English.
Exactly. And now he's like leveled up his warrior character.
Oh, yeah.
He could fix anything.
And fix pretty much anything.
And he's dependable. And I think women out there are just, their jaws are on the floor thinking about the prospects of this guy. But so far, he's turned everybody down.
He has, because, he's a guy who enjoys the bachelor lifestyle.
He's on his grind, man. He's on his grind.
I think he's, you know what? He's like, he's like, how many years went by when I didn't have a girlfriend? And now I can have any girl I want, almost. And I think he's just, enjoying doing the bachelor thing, and God bless him, right?
God bless him.
He's earned it. He's earned it.
If anybody has earned it, it's him. And he's
if
so
anybody's
focused.
earned it, Juan has earned it.
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. Yeah. Geez, man, 74 shows. It's hard to say what's next for us. I mean, anything's possible.
Wow. Gosh, I think, there's the obvious stuff that's kind of like already in the pipeline.
Go on.
Well, there's the space exploration stuff. There's the real estate stuff.
Elon is calling us every other day.
Science research. There's the science research stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We consulted with SpaceX, and
there's some stuff that we can't really talk about. Some contracts that are a little bit sensitive that we can't really talk about.
It's exciting, though. I mean, as things progress, as things develop, of course, we're going to let you guys know what's going on. But we have to play our cards a little close to the chest at this point, just so we don't, we don't want to step on anybody's toes. There's a lot going on over here at Sensual Essences. But trust me, just be patient with us. We will be rolling out some incredible stuff over the next few episodes.
I think the thing that we can talk about that we're going to be promoting on this show and then the next, who knows, probably quite a few shows is, we are going to be opening the Sensual Essence Coffee House, which is going to be a nationwide franchise.
We are so excited about this. I mean, we ourselves actually flew down to Colombia just to sample some of the test brews that they were making.
What a great trip that was.
Unbelievable. I mean,
I'm so glad we did that.
First of all, the people were so incredibly friendly, and we're doing responsibly sourced coffee. We're making sure that every single family that's working our land is properly and fairly paid. We actually had one.
And the thing is you don't have, just because the coffee's been sourced responsibly doesn't mean you have to be responsible. You can drink as much as you want.
Our slogan with the coffee, drink irresponsibly, right?
Drink the coffee irresponsibly, because it's darn good coffee. It's darn good coffee.
It's really fantastic.
I mean, you'd have to really drink a lot of it for it to become a problem. I think most people stop after a cup or two.
Yeah.
And then occasionally there's some freakazoids out there that'll have more than that, but most people.
Yeah. You know, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but on our way back from Colombia, we took a short stint in Mexico, and we were eyeing up some tequila fields, some agave fields, and
we saw some stuff.
We saw some stuff,
and it looked good. It looked real good.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's sensual tequila coming up.
I wouldn't be too surprised. A little bit of Sensual Essence tequila, a little Sensual Essence mezcal, and maybe some other Sensual Essence liqueur products.
Ready mixed margaritas.
There's a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff.
Boy, I tell you, is it smooth stuff. Not that I'm saying it's
smooth.
It's smooth. It's smooth.
Really smooth.
Yeah. The Reposado was my favorite.
Yeah. You know what, Dan? I'm actually having some Sensual Essence coffee right now. I made a cup before we started the show, and I have to tell you, this is some darn good coffee.
That's amazing. Sometimes I just wake up in the morning and I just look at what I've made with my own hands, everything that's around me, this empire.
Yeah.
And I just say, good job, Daniel.
Dan, you've done a lot of fine work building,
don't be modest.
The Sensual Essence empire.
Don't be modest. I mean,
oh, come on.
You were the one at the beginning. You were the one financing this whole thing. What is it? $8 a month for to get
we started
the
off.
podcast
It did started off small. I guess it started off. Yeah.
Big things have small beginnings.
Big things do have small beginnings sometimes.
Just 1 second here. Elon's texting me.
Oh, geez. What does he want again? Tell him we're doing the show. We got to text him back later. We're doing the show now.
Hey, E, give me a few minutes. I'll get back to you.
What is he? He knows we're doing the show.
I know. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, the whole thing with the sensual coffee. I hate to take the lion's share of the credit here, but it was really the whole thing with me having my entire entourage carrying my coffie.
Yeah,
Kind of sparked
it was
this.
kind of like, why are we spending all this money on having all the coffee at on the West Coast office studio complex, and it just made sense. It was one of those things that you didn't even really have to plan out. It just made sense.
It just kind of fell into place. It's like
things just fell into place. Yeah, boom. And then we started making a couple calls, and it just seemed like, hey, we know all the right people.
Let's make this
to
happen.
Make this happen really fast. Man. Get it from the idea phase to the on the shelf products on the shelf phase really fast. And
man, we were having a hard time keeping that product on the shelf. I mean, it's just flying off.
Well,
thanks to everybody. Thanks to all of our listeners. I mean, give yourselves a round of applause.
You know what? This show is really for the listeners.
It's about the characters for the listeners. That's what I'm saying.
It's about the characters, and it's for the listeners, because we wouldn't really be here today if it wasn't for all of the listeners, and we just want to say thank you.
Yeah, thanks. This is really our swan song, our heartfelt. We just want to say thank you. I mean, thank you for making this possible. If it weren't for everybody out there listening, my God, I don't know where we would be. I don't know where we would be right now. It's.
Well, I don't know where we would be, Dan, but you know what?
It's just it's so touching. And
it is.
I got a fan message the other day from a little boy, and he said that our show changed his life, and
it's changing lives. It's about changing lives. It's about making a difference, and making a difference in communities, and lifting people up and all that stuff. It's about making change in the world.
He said that. I don't want to spill. I want to keep I want to keep things private. It was a very
Sure.
touching letter. There was a life-threatening sickness involved, and I hand wrote a message back. I said, "Thank you, young man," and I gave him a voucher for $1 off our coffee.
That's amazing.
Of medium roast.
The other day, I got a really just a heart. I'm just getting a little choked up thinking about it.
All right. Just breathe, big guy.
I got a message from a fan, of course, and it was an elderly woman, and she said that she stopped drinking coffee.
Oh, why?
And it wasn't until she saw that there was a new coffee shop on her block that she decided that she wanted to start drinking coffee again, and she goes there every day now, and her going to our coffee shop is really kind of, that's her family.
Well, the whole
she doesn't have anyone else.
I know.
Her family is the coffee shop, the people that work in the coffee shop, and the other customers that go to the coffee shop. And what a touching message.
I really feel like the whole entire Sensual Essences team that we built is a family.
Yeah, we're exactly.
It is a family.
It is.
And
it's true.
Like any other family, yes, we have our problems, but we stick together. We stick together.
Do. Absolutely. We always stick together.
And like any other family, there's, abuse and patronizing and
other things that are other things
you might
that are hard,
say
sometimes
they're
hard to talk about. Sometimes they're hard to talk about.
But we talk about it. About it. I mean, there's the gaslighting, there's the future faking, there's the touching, there's the harassment, there's the unpaid overtime, there's the unrealistic expectations, there's the hostile work environment. It's basically like you would feel at home with your family.
Right. Exactly. So, but this is the Sensual Essence family, and that just makes it better.
Yeah.
Makes all those things better.
Honestly,
we don't know how it works, but it works.
It works. Maybe this is just me. My favorite facet of this family dynamic is the belittling. I don't know why I take such pleasure in that.
Yeah.
But it's something. It's got to be a personality quirk of mine. But man, I get a kick out of belittling our employees.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I find the most petty, inconsequential thing to just relentlessly hack away at that person's self-confidence, and I never ever drop it. It just gives me a reason to go finish my day, and I feel so satisfied when everybody goes home.
Dan,
tears.
the thing about the thing that the West Coast office has kind of garnered a reputation for is the fact that you lead by example.
Yeah. I love seeing it trickle down.
So when you sort of set the tone as the boss out there, it sets the tone for the whole West Coast, I feel like.
I think so. So.
It's like the whole culture out there. It's different than the East Coast office.
Sure.
And it's really it's Dan, you're setting the tone with your with the way that you like to run the show.
It's so funny when people hear me talk out here. I got a lot of are you from the East Coast? Maybe it's the way I carry myself or my accent.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Are you from the East Coast? Where are you from? And I say, I'm from Pennsylvania. I grew up in the East Coast, blah, 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 right? And then as soon as we get down to business, they feel like, oh, this is like West Coast familiar. I recognize this asshole.
Yeah.
Right? He must have lived here for a long time.
He's been here for a while.
Yeah.
And now he's running the show.
Now he's running the show.
Guess what?
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Well, I think,
Wow.
we're going to do our best out
Yeah.
here to continue this momentum
Sure.
into the future.
Continue the legacy, really. It's all about, we started off small and now we're huge, and we're just gonna, there's a lot of new stuff coming down the pipeline, and we're just really excited about keeping the ball rolling, I think.
I think it's inevitable that, well, okay, I'm just so excited. I don't want to spill the beans. Just expect great things from us in the future. Keep listening. Buy us some coffee. It's such good coffee.
It's great coffee.
We're working on the tequila, the mezcal, the margaritas. It's coming. There's so many exciting things coming your way. Mike's got his autobiography almost finished.
Sure, almost done with that. Yeah,
that's right. I've got my business management course coming up.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm really excited about that. We've innovated some. I mean, I'm so excited about this.
We are accepting applications for both East Coast and West Coast offices. So if you want to check the website if you want to submit your resume, or just see what the job opportunities are.
Yes, Mike. Hold on. So if you're applying for the West Coast location, just keep in mind that every position is labeled assistant.
Yeah.
So just send in your applications. No matter what, you're going to be an assistant
of some sort.
But you will have to do every job that we need you to do.
Sure.
Sure. I don't know if you have any caveats or things you want to mention about the East Coast.
I think just feel free to. What's the email, Dan? It's been a while since we plugged the email.
Sensual Essences 2000 at gmail.com. I think.
Yeah, send us a message.
We get so excited about doing these shows, we just dive into our characters. We don't even promote it.
Right in.
But
we like and subscribe.
And we've got such a fantastic organic development of our following.
It's just a grassroots kind of thing. And that's really the word of mouth. That's the way to go.
Yep. Great. This has been a really special experience for me, Mike. And
it's been an extra special episode, Dan. I'm glad we got to kind of just share again a little kind of behind the scenes stuff with the fans, and I'm looking forward to another 74 episodes,
74, 75, 7400. I don't care.
Or 7400. Yeah, we're going to keep it going.
All right. Fantastic, big guy. Look, can't wait to talk to you again. All right.
All right, big guy.
All right.
We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.